Page 18, Symphony No. 2. Well, this is an excerpt from the second movement by Tschaikowsky. At the top of the page, they have a little blurb up there about program music and absolute music. Nice to know. Don't know that it'll help you with anything ever, but you run across them, you sort of have an idea. Just keep in mind that program music usually supports some sort of a story. And absolute music is just music. It doesn't support anything. It's just music for its own sake. That's all. Well, a symphony is music for its own sake. It's absolute. Well, this is 4/4 time. 1 flat, we are in the key of F major. Make sure you can do the scale for F major. Let's take it one hand at a time and make sure we get the fingering and the notes and all that. See, this is a little tricky because this is not piano music per se. It's an orchestra piece, and this is just an arrangement of a piece of that orchestra music. So a lot of times we get problems in trying to play this on piano. So we'll see what we run into. Right hand first. When you come in, you have that triplet. 4 and a, or triplet. 4 and a 1. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. And there's a 1 5, 1 5, a 4. See, already it doesn't fit real well, does it? Real slow. I mean, the staccatos will help us here, so we don't have to connect them, but right now I want to connect everything. So it's the last two measures. The first line, you're here and then here. You may have to practice that. The feeling in the hand is the same. This distance to this distance. It's the same. You just got to move it. Practice that if you need to. You're saying 2 4. Well, that's okay because you need to be able to do that anyway. So that's fine. And then connect them. You have to slide up for that. And if you have big fat fingers and that doesn't work, I don't have a lot of help for you. You can, if you need to, when you play the half note, is on that, substitute the thumb for it. So after you play it, put the thumb on it. And then you can do a 2 3 here if you need to. There's one way of doing it. And then you lift up and come up. Now the fingering on the second line here. There's here, they're saying 1 3. I don't care for that. I prefer 1 2, and then a 1 3, and then for the half note a 1 4, and then a 2 3, so I can feel it a little better. You can use the fingering in the book if you want. I just prefer this one. And then lift up and go. Now again, if you don't want to put your hand up here for that D flat, then you got to figure out a fingering like here, here, something like that. That'll help you. So that's fine. So you go here to here. If you have small hands, use the fingering in the book. Or I still prefer a 1 2 1 3. Going on triplets. You've had this before. Go on, and then do the third line down, second measure. Here. And you can, if you need to, just 1 5. That's an A, that bottom note. And then lift up. Kind of repetitious, isn't it? Left hand just has that chuck at the bottom. F and C. All the way through. Oh, isn't that nice? Put them together. Add the articulation. A nice light wrist staccato. You have accents on those half notes. Give it a little extra oomph there. So forth. Then add the dynamics. Well, this is the challenge, the dynamics. Starts out very soft, and that's fine. How soft can you play this? Now, if it'll help you, use the finger staccato rather than this. See, when you play softly, it's easier to control if you use smaller muscles. And so you can use finger staccato rather than the whole hand trying to do it. So I'm just plucking them. I'm just plucking them. It's all. But how soft can you play those? They need to be pretty much that softness throughout. Then when the right hand comes in, the melody, start it moderately loud and go up to loud. Up to loud, up to loud. But this stays soft. This is in the background. This has to be in the distance. And you come, first line, last measure, come back down to moderately loud. Then go back up to loud. Moderately loud. And your tenuto on the end, just hang on to it. Don't give it any extra stress or nothing. Just hang on to it. Full 2 counts, maybe a hair longer, you know. And Andantino alla Marcia is on the slower side of the middle. It's the feel of it. It's not the beat. Somewhere in there, the trick will be don't speed it up as you play it, because you'll start at one speed, and by the time you get to the end, you're sped. It happens to most everybody. I would encourage you to find a recording of that. You can search on YouTube or wherever, and you'll find lots of recordings of this symphony, and just listen to the whole symphony, really, but pay attention to the second movement. You'll get an idea about how fast it might go or what it sounds like. And I would encourage you to listen to more than one recording from different orchestras, because they'll play it differently at different speeds and whatnot. And it's nice to hear that difference in there so you can see it's not always done the same way. I like to play this with you very slowly, just to double check all the notes and the rhythms, at least for the right hand. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm not going to do any dynamics, but I will do the staccatos and stuff. 1, 2, ready, go.